Hey, welcome investors to the 40 Finance channel. Square stock, aka Block stock, has certainly been one of the bigger disappointments in my portfolio over the last, call it 6 to 8 months. So today I thought I'd share my personal thoughts on this stock and where I see it going through 2022. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you may know that the reason really that I'm in this position with Square, about 40 shares, I believe, at 200 some odd dollars, 215, something like that. But the reason that I started in this one was really just to hedge myself with how bullish I am on Visa and PayPal. Visa and PayPal are the top two individual stocks that I hold, but I also see a lot of merit and opportunity in the Block universe. Obviously, CashApp is a strong competitor to Venmo on the PayPal side. In fact, CashApp has more users. Then on the merchant side or the seller ecosystem, I think Square really has some intriguing offerings for small businesses, medium businesses, and if you've been to a NFL game this year or Major League Baseball or whatever it is that you're into, you've probably noticed that not too many of them are accepting cash anymore from the vendors that walk the stairs. And I would say more likely than not, if you've interfaced with them, they're using the Square mobile readers. And I think in general, like mobile credit card readers is a big opportunity. And I think Square is right in the thick of that. And then, of course, you have the crypto side of the Block business. And for me anyway, this is also a good exposure to have, certainly over the long term. And with the name change to Block, and we'll go through the news feed here in a second, I think what you're seeing here is that Block is really turning into a crypto company. So I would definitely say that if you're an investor in Block or you're thinking about it while this stock price has come down so significantly, it's very, very important that you are comfortable with cryptocurrency and the potential that it may have down the road. Block is investing big. In fact, their biggest headlines recently have sort of been in the crypto space. I would say that if you don't believe in a changing financial environment or currency environment, then Square is definitely not the stock for you. All right, so here's the stock today, just under $120. We actually had a little upside today in a market that has been generally negative lately. And you look at the 52-week range, this one was as high as 289, and now you're down to 120. Again, my position is right in the $210, $215 spot. So with a dip that large, you might be wondering like, hey, are you selling your Square? Are you getting out? This one's, dead in the water. I'm not selling it because I think that at the end of the day, and we're going to look at these headlines here, there's still a bull case for Square. I'm just going to say it that it is probably at least 3 years away. Okay, so when we look at the recent headlines for this company, yesterday they launched in Spain. I believe they're up to like 9 countries. Some of them are really small, but there's like 3 European countries. So I would definitely say bullish in that regard. Then we have this announcement of the Lightning Network, which they've added on. I'm not going to pretend to know a ton about this, but CashApp users can send Bitcoin for free to anybody in the world. Users will also be able to send Bitcoin to any compatible wallet that accepts Lightning Network payments. And with this, I think, this headline sort of exemplifies for me where I see Block's attention going, certainly over the short term. All right, continuing ahead, Block pushes ahead to build a Bitcoin mining system. So again, I'm not going to pretend to know everything about Bitcoin mining, but what I will say is my understanding of it today is that it is pretty complicated and capital intensive. So it will be interesting to see if Block is able to streamline this in such a way that it is more profitable than the way other people are doing it, and then perhaps also, can they offer some sort of user integration? I'm really not sure, but at least from where I sit, it certainly confirms my statement about the focus on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Then a couple days prior, January 12th, Jack Dorsey launches the Bitcoin Legal Defense Fund. And this is actually, I believe, like a pro bono effort, so I don't know how much it leads into Block as a stock, but it should be known that at least the CEO of the company is getting involved in cryptocurrency legal aspects. And then lastly, the other big news, the Afterpay deal, which is a buy now, pay later deal, where they purchase this company Afterpay so that they can offer buy now, pay later in-house. It looks like January 31st could be the close of that. My take would be that it's going to take at least 9 months to get any sort of full integration, certainly to the point where Afterpay services are making money for Block the company. Maybe they have a speedier way to do it, but these things usually do take a while. Okay, so just to pause there for 1 second. We've got a stock that's down from 289 to 120, whatever it is. Then we went through those headlines and we saw, Bitcoin in particular appears to be a very shiny object. We know that Bitcoin has come down significantly over the past couple months. We also know that fintech in general has gotten destroyed since December. I own PayPal, Visa, they all got hit hard, and Square's right down there with it. So from a price pressure, bear pressure aspect, like Square's swimming upstream big time right now. So you have to be thinking to yourself, this has got to be getting close to the bottom. So is Square on sale now after taking a huge haircut? We're going to flip hats a little bit and not talk about what could be in the future, right? Bitcoin mining and Lightning Network and buy now, pay later. We're going to focus very specifically on the fundamentals of the stock and, what I think, anyhow, is a fair price range to target buying this one. Okay, let's start by taking a look at our future earnings and revenue estimates here in Seeking Alpha. And quick call out, if you're interested in learning more about Seeking Alpha and potentially supporting my channel, there is a significant discount for you for a 1-year subscription of Seeking Alpha Premium. Check out the description area for my affiliate link and save yourself some money on a Seeking Alpha subscription. Fantastic tool. If you watch the channel, I use it all the time. All right, so let's see where analysts have Square in terms of EPS estimates going forward. And here we have fiscal period ending December 2021. Now that will be the close of their fiscal year, and the final estimate comes in at $1.68 on Seeking Alpha, taking a consensus of 34 analysts. So that's a lot of analysts. It's a good sample size. That puts your forward PE at this point at 68.62, okay? But we know that in February, when the earnings come out, this is going to be rear view mirror and really sort of a waste of our time. Everybody's going to be looking at the next fiscal year. Right now, analysts have $1.85. But look at this. This is where I think Square gets stuck this year a little bit. You have a 10% earnings growth coming off of a time of 100%. But it is important to note that with just a 10% EPS boost, the fundamentals of your stock are not going to change significantly. And you can see here, the PE goes from 68 down to 62. And keep in mind, this is a stock that has dropped, over 50% from its all-time high. So whereas 62 on a forward PE isn't the worst thing you'll see in this market, it's coming off from the hundreds. And it's almost an opinion on if you think 62 times earnings at this stage in Square's game is worth it for you right at this second. To give you an idea, if you were on like the PayPal side, you're probably in a forward PE of 30 or so. Visa side, you're probably right there with it, maybe even into the 20s. Now, let's take a look at revenue. Revenue's a little tricky with Square because they have a lot of expenses. If you follow the stock, you already know this. They book a lot of revenue, particularly from Bitcoin transactions, but the actual Bitcoin gets rolled into the revenue, and then they back that out under expenses. This price to sales in the single digits is attractive, I would say, for a growing company like this, but it's not necessarily apples to apples if you were going to compare it to PayPal and Visa, for example. But even beyond that, if we just look at the growth, right? Incredible growth in 2021 from a revenue perspective. People are coming in at single digits right now for Square. And I can tell you from someone who follows the stock, this number has stayed pretty true over the past 6 months or so. Then there's sort of a launch point maybe in 2023 when you get to 20%. 20% is not on the high end of a growth stock paradigm, right? Like Visa and PayPal will probably be in the high teens. So it's not like they're growing and just blowing away the big dogs in Wall Street. That being said, of course, they could easily outperform here, right? And here. And if you believe in the long-term scenario that there's more compounding growth coming up, then these numbers obviously change. Okay, so fundamentally, Square has some challenges in the short term. This is probably a 5+ year stock if you buy it today and you're expecting to see huge returns. Now, as far as price range, in my opinion, if we took that $1.85 EPS estimate for next year, and I would say the high point of that for at least myself, the high point would be a forward PE of 100. That gives you a price of $185. On the low end, I think you take that multiple down to 50. I think you go with the forward PE of 50, and then you take 185 times 50, and you're going to land at about $92. So $92 on the low end, $185 on the high end for 2022, given the information we know now. I don't think I've ever made a video with such a wide range of price outcomes. A lot of this has to do with the outlook for crypto, okay? So if Bitcoin goes on a run, you better believe that Square's going to go on a run too. Unfortunately, these are not really things that we can do any sort of sanity math on. So I think you have to stick to the 92 to 185. That puts Square in a buying zone right now. Just temper your expectations for 2022. Make sure you are aligned with the money that they're spending to build out basically blockchain type applications. So again, the bull case for Square, crypto goes up, crypto adds more use cases, Lightning Network integrates more Bitcoin transactions. Those are probably the best case scenario in the short term. They're also the long-term outlook for this company as well. So keep all those things in mind before you buy your Square stock this year. All right, guys, let me know what you think of that wide price target for Square, 92 to 185. Let me know where you think it'll land down there in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out that Seeking Alpha premium subscription offer down below. We'll see you on the next video.